live streamed on YouTube.
Just click the OK when it shows up.
All right.
All right.
It's all yours.
All right. Thank you all so much for being here. This is clearly the holiday season, and so we're just so thankful that you took some time to come out and listen to our dear Jerry. We've got a wonderful, wonderful program today, but we're going to start off with just opening in with prayer. So is there anyone that feels led to open us with prayer? All right. Don't make me voluntold you now. All right.
I'll just say I'd be
Well,
happy to.
Sounds like
oh,
Bill. Yeah.
thank you. Okay.
I always love to pray.
Yeah.
So let's do that. Let's stop, drop, and pray, as one of my colleagues suggested. And stop means don't do anything else for right now. And drop means let yourself settle out of your head and into your heart and be present right here and right now. And to know that there is an infinite creative power, a divine love that is sharing and showing and revealing and unfolding itself as all of its creation. Everything is that bright light shining in a different way. That includes each of us. It includes this time that we spend together during Thought Leader Thursday. It is the bright lights of our host, Dr. Pjae Stanley, and our guest, Dr. Jerry Troyer. And it is each of us individually and all of us together that form this container for good to be unfolding. I'm so grateful for it. I'm grateful for this time. I'm grateful for this technology. And I'm grateful to be able to set the intention for this blessed time. So I let it be. So it is.
And so it is.
So it is.
Thank you so much. So just let everybody know and remind you that we're going to have about 55 minutes of some conversation with Reverend Jerry, and we invite you to ask questions. This is not just a talk, but a discussion about some things. So please feel free to raise your hand. It's easier for us to see you if you raise your digital hand, so you won't get left behind. But however you raise your hand, we'll see you. We're constantly scanning to see who needs to ask a question. And so that's, we're just going to go ahead and get into it. I don't want to waste any more time. I'm just going to go ahead and get into it. Let me just introduce our speaker for the day. He really needs no introduction, but I'll go ahead and assume there may be someone on here who hasn't heard of Jerry. I don't know where you've been, but that's okay. I'll just go ahead and share that with you. So we welcome Reverend Jerry as he joins us today to discuss his work he's two things he's going to be discussing today. His work as the board president for ANTN, affiliated New Thought Network, and as his work in Director of Relationship Development for Urban Street Angels, which is an organization that serves more than 140 formerly homeless transition youth ages 18 to 24. And he'll explain those if you ask him to. What does that mean? And I'm sure he's willing to do that. For Jerry, it's all about building community. Both of these organizations is what he's doing, building community. And so he has been active in New Thought for almost 30 years. We need to go ahead and say 30 years. He is licensed as a religious science minister. He was licensed in 2005. Um, he holds a master's degree in religious studies and a doctor of divinity from Emerson Theological Institute. He's a published author. He travels and speaks regularly at ANTN, at Unity and CSL pulpits across the country. He lives with his beloved golden retriever, Maggie, who I've had the pleasure of being around and loving on in the San Diego area, which he doesn't talk about a lot. He wants to keep the jealousy down. But he has a son, Brandon, and 7 grandchildren who live in Oregon. He's worked since 2012 with Urban Street Angels, and he's worked to end youth homelessness in San Diego by providing temporary bridge housing, education referrals, employment, life skills, training, and hope, which I think is an acronym for more than hope, which is hope is a great thing, but there's an acronym to that. He'll talk about that. In a similar way, ANTA provides a New Thought community the opportunity to be connected with like-minded individuals and organizations. So Reverend Dr. Jerry is here today to share his vision and his hope for both organizations. Please help us welcome Reverend Dr. Jerry Troyer.
Thank you so much, Reverend Dr. Pjae, and good morning or good afternoon, wherever you are, or greetings if you're watching later. It's great to be with you. Thanks so much for the opportunity.
So I'll just let you go. I don't ask questions. I let you go and speak however you want to speak. But if you want to, I think a lot of us are kind of in the Anton thing. So why don't you start with urban street angels? So I don't we know a lot about that.
Sure. Obviously, happy to. So in 2011 or so, my church at the time in San Diego was looking to support some nonprofit organization. And because I don't believe in coincidence, as divine connection would have it, we found this work that was being done by Disciples of Christ Church in the North Park area of San Diego and their outreach to homeless, especially homeless young people. So I connected with the senior pastor there. His first name is Eric. And their work, so their outreach was to take sack lunches and socks and bottled water to homeless, especially homeless young people in the Ocean Beach area of San Diego. And so Eric was talking with one of the young men that he met, and the young man said, "Well, I appreciate the food, but what I really need is a place to sleep."
Wow.
So Eric, right at this time, started creating a 501c3 nonprofit organization called Urban Street Angels to take this away from the church and make it its own organization. So right at this time, we as a church found Eric and his church and his work. We met, we donated about 1,000 pairs of socks. Eric and I became fast friends, and he asked me to come on as a founding board member, which I was very happy to do. So we as an organization started in 2012 with 2 youth couch surfing at Eric's apartment.
Mm.
He rented a bigger apartment, then a house, then another house, then another house. And now here we are, the end of 2024. And last night, about 145 homeless transition age youth in San Diego had a warm and safe place to sleep and a hot meal because of one of our programs.
That's beautiful.
So transition age, so that's 18 to 24, transitioning from adolescence to adulthood. And they have aged out of foster care at age 18 and had no place to go, or came out to the family as LGBTQ and the family kicked them out of the house, or there was some sort of abusive situation at home, and so they really had no home to stay in and wound up either couch surfing or on the street.
Wow.
So we have 70 youth in downtown San Diego, which is our primary facility, and then about 75 in La Mesa, so east of San Diego, about 10 miles. And the youth are with us for between 4 and 9 months, depending on their needs. While they're there, they are assigned a case manager, a peer support person, and some other support staff, because this is a temporary bridge housing program. So we want you to be okay today, but we want you to be working toward being okay tomorrow and the next day. So included in this, we do life skills training, as PJ mentioned. So we do a class on creating a resume, finding a job, smart money. Starting the first of the year, we'll be doing a workshop, a 3-week workshop on budgeting, on setting goals, on establishing credit, those kinds of things. And again, a lot of the skills that we all, or most of us, learned growing up, but that a lot of our youth didn't. So again, we want you to be okay today, but we also want you to work with you to prepare for the future. And then we have a program that started about a year ago, funded in part by the San Diego Padres Foundation. And of course, the Padres are our baseball club in San Diego, for trade school opportunities. So we have about 35 young people who have graduated from this program as EMTs or CNAs or welders or FAA drone pilots. Can you even imagine? But these just amazing programs that so many of our youth couldn't have imagined that they'd be able to do that. And when they graduate successfully, they're guaranteed a job and are able to move on into the next chapter of their lives. If you are a friend of mine on Facebook, you might have seen me as an elf a couple of days ago, because this time of year we feel like it's really important to, well, throughout the year, but especially this time of year, to have a little fun in this program. So Intuit and Sharp Mesa Vista Healthcare donated gift cards for all 145 of our youth. So we did our holiday dinner Tuesday night at our facility in downtown San Diego. And after I leave you this morning, I will go jump into my elf costume and go, and we're doing a lunch at our facility in La Mesa. And so each of the youth will get a gift card along with a hygiene kit, a stocking, and some other really cool gifts. We feel is so important because, again, so many of these youth might not have ever had the opportunity to have a holiday gift that was just theirs. So they'll have a $40 Amazon gift card to go on and buy exactly what they want.
Nice, really nice.
So what we're doing is building community. I feel like we're building community within the communities of young people that are part of Urban Street Angels, but we're also building connection and community into the larger community. So it is my joy to work with donors and volunteers. So talking with organizations whose hearts this touches and individuals whose hearts this touches. And because we have, I don't like the word challenge, but we have an opportunity in San Diego and around the country, but especially in San Diego related to homelessness. But at least 50% of the homeless that were interviewed indicated they were homeless at this age. So we feel like giving them the opportunity to get off the streets and into housing and employment at this age, that's how we break the cycle, is to get them moving forward in a successful life. So again, building that community, we come together a couple of times a year. We bring all the youth, so all 140 that are available and want to our facility downtown. And in January, we'll do a carnival. So we'll have special food, we'll have games, we'll have raffle prizes. So again, building the community within our community so our youth get to know one another. And then again, making that connection out into the community. So then and we can certainly talk more about that later. And as you might have noticed, I do love to talk about this organization. So certainly happy to
have a lot
talk
of
more
passion.
and answer questions.
You have a lot of passion for it. And what I was going to say was that, just real quickly, people want to start things and they wonder, how do I get it started? It seems really huge. It's really huge. But I love when you said we just started where we were, and we started with a couple of kids on a couch.
Yes.
You responded to what someone says, I need a place to stay. You said, come stay on the couch. And that's where it starts. And now you're talking about programs, you're talking about helping them, housing and future things and all. So it just grows. So I just love the fact that you just start where you are. That's very inspiring. And you have some passion for it. So,
Yes. Yeah, obviously I do. Thank you. And
Yeah.
I will say that it's been 12 years.
Wow.
We started with not having two dimes to rub together, literally, because how are we going to do this? I don't know.
Yeah.
Our budget in 2024 is $5.4 million.
Oh my God.
So it's absolutely amazing. And throughout this experience, and I know I'm preaching to the choir here, but we set the intention. So what do you need? And so we need cots to start a drop-in shelter program. And we found this amazing organization to donate those. And what else do you need? And as we know, when we set our intention, we absolutely know that the universe responds with whatever it is and more besides. And so this same organization donated a van about a year later for us to go out to Ocean Beach, pick up youth that wanted to come to the shelter. So throughout this, how in the world did that happen? Well, we know exactly how that happened because that's what Spirit does for us.
Exactly.
So it's just been extraordinary.
Exactly. And you're lining out the steps. You're lining out the steps of how actually the universe responds in the way that we need, because you set your intentions of first of all, you got clear. What do we want? We want to help these kids for sure.
Right.
And they told you this is what we need. So then you said, all right, well, let's get some cots. Spirit, we need some cots. And so that means that the how, you took it right out of you. I don't need to know the how. I need to know the what.
Yes.
And Spirit does the how. So that was just fantastic. Just,
Yeah.
I love it. It's Spirit in action. Love it.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Every single day. I have no idea how this is going to happen. And again, don't
Yeah.
need to, but
Don't
I
need
know that this is our intention. We set it and let the universe do the heavy lifting.
it.
Yes.
Love it. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
So then my other passion obviously is the affiliated New Thought Network. Such a wonderful organization. If you're not a member, we would love it if you would consider joining us. That's the only advertisement that I'll give. Well, maybe another one, but that's
There'll be some more.
that's the first one. So we have we're up to about 150 or so members.
Okay.
So we are a membership organization of religious science, New Thought, Unity, and Divine Science, and Centers for Spiritual Living, centers, churches, and individuals. You don't have ministers, practitioners, licensed Unity teachers, and individuals. So you don't need any certification hanging on your wall. You don't need any alphabet soup behind your name. If you are involved in this teaching and would like to learn more and be part of this community, you are welcome to join us at ANTN.
Yeah.
I love that word community, that common unity. So at Anton, we come together. So we do events throughout the year. So the monthly Thought Leader Thursday, and thanks as always to Reverend Dr. Pjae for doing the amazing job that you do. We do a quarterly workshop, and then we do a retreat at Unity Village outside of Kansas City, which I always feel like is the family reunion.
Yeah.
And we're reuniting. Is that a word? It is now.
It is now.
We reune with family that we want to be with.
Yes.
And I was thinking about this morning. So what's the big deal about Anton? Well, Anton is why I know most of you. I know Pjae. I know the most amazing people in my life that bring the greatest blessings and the absolute richness and lusciousness I would not know without Anton.
Yeah.
And it's the greatest thing. And we get together and I don't know about you, but it's been my experience that if I'm part of CSL, and not picking on anybody, but I know CSL. Or if I'm part of Unity, I know Unity. Or if I'm part of Design Science, I know Divine Science. But I'm not really familiar or even maybe aware of these other organizations and teachings within New Thought. But there is so much richness, so much lusciousness within this teaching across all the different organizations. And that's what brings us together.
Exactly.
Oh, Unity. Oh, that's the basis and the foundation and the history. Oh, Divine Science and Melinda Kramer. Oh, that's interesting. So it's just so cool, for lack of a better word, when we get together, either virtually or in person, to talk about our similarities and our experiences and our differences, because there's a little bit of a difference, but none of it matters.
No.
What matters is our common unity, our community, and our connections. And it's it's the greatest thing. It is absolutely the greatest thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've have a long history with Anson, because the center where my late husband and I first found religious science and started our teaching, our senior minister and our founding minister was one of the founders of Anton, and the Anton office was in our church, our center, for a period of time. So, and Pjae was there as well. How cool is that?
Yeah,
and Vivian
amazing.
Harris, who is a dear friend, not an old friend, but a dear friend who I haven't seen in a long time, who is on this call, was with us as well. So so I have that. I think in the marrow of my bones, the love for this and the passion for this organization as well. But again, this sense of common unity, community, and connectedness is just the greatest thing.
It really is. It really is. It gets really hard to, explain. I'm so excited about Anson. I tell everybody, listen, you gotta go to Anson. And the best thing is to come. It's hard to. It's like talk about a carnival, or a stage show. It's you can't explain the music and the magic and you just gotta come. I can tell you about it, but you won't get it. And so
Right.
same with Anson. Same with
Yeah.
Anson. I can tell
Yeah.
you, but the biggest thing I can tell you is come be with us.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. And
join.
Therese, hey, it's great to see you, and thanks so much for your comment there. Yeah, it's the greatest thing. And Unity Village, really quickly, if you've not been, and whether you're Unity or not, if you've not been to Unity Village, just putting your feet on the property is a religious experience. It's so amazing. The archives, the Addington archives from INTA, the CSL archives, and now Unity's archives are all combining together at Unity Village. It's the most amazing place. There are people, we've been there for
Mm, I
six
don't know.
years, 5 years,
It's
six
only been,
years.
it seems like since I've been involved, we've been there, but it's been a long time, long time.
Yes. Yeah. And it's just every year, it's just the greatest thing. And Tim and Suzanne and Zelda, thank you so much for that. Absolutely. The community is just the greatest thing.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say something that came and went, but um, you're talking about the things that we do, and I noticed that you do the same thing with Urban Street Angels we do with Anton. We're always looking for what's next. How else? What else can we do? What else is showing up? Because as soon as you do one thing, you see a need for something else. And one of the things
Yes.
we encourage is for people to say, well, what do you need? What is next? What's missing for you?
Right.
Constantly doing that.
Yes. Yeah.
Love that.
And I will tell you and thank you for that, for Urban Street Angels. So it's estimated that there are about 1,500 homeless 18 to 24-year-olds in San Diego. And right now we serve about 10% of those. And youth are with us for a period of time, and then they go either to their own place, to their own apartment, and this really makes my tail wag. Recently, we found several more young people reuniting with families and
Oh,
going home to a positive, nurturing experience, which we
beautiful.
just love. You
Yes,
get your own place, that's fine. But if you can reconnect and reunite with family, how great is that? So we're serving about 10% of this homeless population. Our intention in 2025 is to expand to another facility in downtown San Diego, and then also open a new one in northern San Diego County.
oh,
So we
wow.
are always
Wow.
looking and your point is well taken. So what's next? What else? How will we grow? How will we expand? Because our intention is at some point to be out of business.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Just
Uh,
there's no more
um,
no need. No
Yeah,
more
so
need.
there is no need in this age group for us to be there because they're all coming out of foster care and going to a safe place, or they are warm and safe and loved, and they know that, and they are successful, and we don't need to do this anymore.
Exactly. I love it. We talk about spirit and what's going on. This is the foundation of what we're all together doing from this whole spiritual place, knowing spirit, understanding how that works, and so there's a constant pull within us to say, okay, we don't ever stop. There's nothing to stop because there's always some growth. There's always some we're called into a new experience. We're called into a higher level. And so I love that you guys are responding to that. Anton responding to it, Urban Street Youth is responding to it. And that's what we all do, I believe. Just as we're moving forward, you just see more, you're up the ladder and you see more horizon. You're up the ladder and you see another horizon. And so I
And
love that that's what we're doing.
yeah, and the divine discontent of,
Yes. Mm.
yeah, that was good, but I want more. And
Yes.
and what's next, and what's better, and what's greater.
Yes,
So and with Anson as well, we are obviously already in the planning stages for the 2025
for sure.
retreat at Unity Village, the first full week in October. Registration is available now. Ricky Byers, might have
Mm,
heard that name, is
mm.
our will be our music director. So things will be amazing. So I so invite you to come and be with us in October at Unity Village. Weather historically is really nice. It's not too hot. It's not too cold yet. So come and be a part of the Anson family. It's just
Absolutely.
always an extraordinary experience.
Right. And what I do know, because what I was going to ask you is, you know the people from Urban Street Angels, and certainly I know because I'm here at Anton, so I'm pretty sure it works the same way. But how do you get? Because you talked about I don't know what team or something that came and donated some things for the street urban your street youth. So how do you get that information out there? How do they know to come and help you with stuff? Did you reach out to them? How does that happen? And the same for us at Anton as well. Do you? It's not necessarily that, but just how do you get volunteers? How do you get staff? How do people know what you need?
And Vivian, in answer to your question, Kansas City is the closest airport to Unity Village. So, so I would say social media. It's just the most amazing thing, and I will use this example. So um, the youth in our programs are all either working or going to school or looking for work.
Okay.
We opened Timmy's Place, which is a restaurant and bistro right next door to our downtown San Diego facility, and they employ some number of youth there. But you need to be doing something, so it's not just some place to hang out.
Love it.
But one of the other things you can do is you can work in our bar soap business that's called 8 West. So we have some number of youth employed in that. And so we do events throughout the year with selling our soap. And so we were doing this at a Disciples of Christ Church in a western part of San Diego and going the 4 Sundays in December. And one of the young women in the congregation works for this natural foods and food supplements and hygiene company called Symbotica. So she's in the audience, heard the spiel about Urban Street Angels and the fact that we're going to be selling soap, and she said, "Oh my goodness, this sounds great." And so, to make a long story even longer, Symbotica. So the youth, all of our youth, are getting this amazing bag of hygiene supplies and cool stuff from this organization because Elizabeth was sitting in the room when we were talking about it. So
Beautiful.
because they're not coincidences ever,
Ever.
I absolutely know that all the time we are where we're supposed to be. And I used to say, well, do I want to do that? Because that's one of my primary responsibilities is to be out there talking about us. And the truth is, go where you're led because you never know the good that is
Yeah,
going to become as a result of that.
absolutely. I love it. And again, that was back to the beginning when we said the how's not your business. So you just do
Right.
what you do. You see
and
what
and
you're led.
and
Yeah.
and we the most amazing things through social media, through the connection, through somebody said, well, I heard about that, and what about that, and how can we help? I love Facebook. I'm not a stockholder. I offer no editorial comment about politics. um and yes, Reverend Dr. Abigail, thank you so much. You can make the check to Urban Street Angels, or you can go on our website, urbanstreetangels.org, for more information and to donate. And
I
thank you
love
for
that
that.
acronym you just used, USA. I'm like, what are you talking about, USA? I love it. Yeah.
And Reverend Dr. Abigail, I'll reach out to you with that information. And thank you so much, the address. Um, my train of thought just derailed.
All right. It's all right. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. Don't worry. It'll come. It'll come back
So
around.
so the oh Thank you, Bill. Anyway, because the I was talking about the budget that covers the basics and the rent and the staff salaries and all the rest of that, but all the extra stuff. So the hygiene supplies and the bedding and the fun stuff we want to do for the holidays comes through donations. And so that's, and again, Intuit, TurboTax and Credit Karma, they have a huge facility up in northern San Diego County. They've been amazingly generous with us, as well as Sharp Mesa Vista Healthcare, several New Thought Centers in the area, and some others that have and individuals just have been extraordinarily generous with us, that we so appreciate, and allows us to do, again, the fun stuff, because this is serious business. You need to be working on your future, but you also need to have a little fun in the meantime. So that's what we're about.
Excellent. Excellent. I'd like to, it's 11:30, so I'd like to just open it up. If anybody has any questions, go ahead and raise your hand, or comments or whatever, just go ahead and raise your hand now. We'll continue to talk until you do raise your hand, and we'll see that and we'll call on you.
Okay.
What you want to do. Oh, okay, Vivian, you.
Jerry, so do any of the children coming into the facilities, as you know, I work with recovering alcoholics and drug addicts. So do you have any need for that? Or are your children pretty much clean and sober when they come in?
They are pretty much clean and sober. If it's a situation, and every once in a while there is, where they come in under the influence of something, we can help them get into a program. So we have connections throughout the San Diego area, and can help them either an outpatient or inpatient program. But they are not allowed to stay. They are not allowed to stay in the program. So they need to go for that. Yes.
Additionally, I have a nephew who is changing their sex right now, and their family has abandoned him completely. So is there like an application process if they were to want to get into
Good question.
The program?
If they go, and how old is he?
He's just graduating from college, just getting out of school, and they won't let him come home.
So he's what, 21? What's his age? Because they age out of 24.
I would say if he went into 18, he's probably around 20, 21.
Okay.
If he goes to our website, or you go to our website, there's a place to apply.
Okay.
Yep. Yes. Yeah. Thank you for that.
Thanks.
So, okay. So no, there's no other hands are up, but and if you can, just use if you know how to, just use the digital raise hands, because it's easier for us to see you. I don't want to miss anybody. I want to say about Anton, we're talking about Street Urban Angels, but also I want to talk about Anton. One of the things that a lot of people that come, because there are a lot of people that continue their education. I mean, there's just something about, getting involved in the spiritual concept that you just really want to know more and more and more. So you just end up having all this alphabet soup, as Jerry said, behind your name. But most people, Anton is mostly individuals, not ministers. It's just mostly individuals. Even though you see a lot of degrees and things, you also see just a lot of plain folk just want to come and be a part of what we do. And I wanted to ask Bill, can you talk just a little bit about some other things that we do? Because we have a couple of virtual things that we do. We have the prayer thing. So can you just mention a few more things that we do?
Yeah, we're constantly busy doing all kinds of things.
Yeah.
In addition to the Thought Leader Thursday, which is the last Thursday of the month, except for months when there's a holiday on the last Thursday. We do that monthly. Every quarter, 4 times a year, we do a workshop, which is an event that's free to ANTN members. It's a nominal fee, $25 for people who are not members. We've had some wonderful programs on that. And oh, by the way, just found out upcoming will be a workshop with Edwene Gaines. So those are things that we're doing. Every month, we also do a prayer call for a half an hour on the second Tuesday of the month. Basically, the group gathers together to join in prayer, and it's very powerful. It's a wonderful addition to that. And then also once a week on Wednesday evenings or afternoons Pacific time, there's a 15-minute meditation, which is group gets together, we chat for a few minutes, pick a topic, and we do a meditation. And we're also creating new programs and new activities to be involved in. There are things that we're doing behind the scenes. Our Sacred Connections group is supporting ANTN members who are either celebrating something wonderful in their life or dealing with a challenge. We've got a prayer team that's in place that's something that's brand new for us. And lots of ways that we are continuing to invent new ways of engaging with the world. Our ESP program, Extraordinary Support Project, provides funding and support for people who are either growing a ministry, developing some new technology, needing mentoring and support, scholarships to take part in an Anton event or to get finished with school, all sorts of things like that. And Anton is continuing to grow and continuing to reach out and expand. So if you got an idea for something that would be wonderful, we want to hear from you. You can email admin@anton.org, ADMIN. We'll get that and direct it in the correct direction, because it is the opportunity for the great idea to show up wherever it's showing up and then take that out into the world.
Exactly. Yeah, I know it goes on, and so many opportunities to get involved as well. And so I'm sure that's what I was asking you, Jerry, about ways in which people can get involved, because we have so many committees. The retreat committee and the board and the finance committee. I mean, we just got committee. Lots of ways in which we can get involved. So you can because the more you get involved, the more you feel like family. The reason why you don't feel like it, because you feel like you're on the outside because you're not, but as soon as you're involved in something, you get the 411 on so many insider things. So we encourage you to get involved, certainly in Street Angels if you're out there, and certainly in Anton when you're here. Patricia, I see your hands up, so I'm gonna go ahead and call on you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So I just wanted to say that I love Anton. There's an aliveness and an enthusiasm that just is ever present in this organization, no matter what a group or function or event is going on, and I feel it. My question, which I posted in the chat, was, is there any talk going on about the various New Thought organizations and churches, centers, all working together as one heart, one mind, one voice? I would love to see that happen. Yes, there is diversity, but that's what would make it so strong and powerful, to have one voice out there in the world coming from New Thought principles.
So Jerry, I think you probably want to speak to that, because we have several members of Anton that are part of other groups. So yeah.
Absolutely. And Patricia, it's good to see you. Thanks so much for being here and for your question. So yes, we are absolutely doing that because our mission is connecting the New Thought movement through consciousness and love. And so recognizing again the richness in our differences, but the amazingness, and I don't know if that's a word or not, in our similarities. And so let's come together and talk more and be one mind. Might have heard that before. Be in unity. Might have heard that before. Be not as an organization, but of this oneness. Had a great opportunity. I was in Lexington, Kentucky for Thanksgiving, where it was 28 degrees, but that's a separate conversation. But I had the opportunity to visit with Reverend Dr. Sonny Cantrell Smith, the spiritual leader of CSL, which was so wonderful, and got to visit with her and talk about the ways that we as organizations coming together, and again recognizing our similarities much more so than our differences. So and there is ongoing conversation with the different leaders. And if you attended this year's retreat, you might remember that we had leaders from all the different organizations there to present. So that is absolutely our intention. We're done with the silos, done with done with anything that's unlike love and unlike unity. Absolutely.
Exactly. Absolutely done with that. Bill, I see your hands up there.
Yeah, there's one other event that I didn't mention when I was speaking previously, and that's one that's not open to the public. For a couple of years now, once a month, the leaders of all the New Thought organizations get together for a 15-minute prayer call. And that happens on Zoom. We get together. It is very brief. It's very focused. It's not to do any business. It is simply to connect together in consciousness. And that came out of I think a couple of years ago, the INTA Congress. They said, we want to do that. We realized that Anton is a network organization. That's the last N in our name. So we are taking care of the technology and facilitating that. So it is happening, and we're all talking, and things continue to unfold for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
I just love it. And,
Cindy had a question.
Cindy?
It's great to see you. Welcome.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Reverend Jerry, I am wondering if you still have a traditional pulpit And how is the San Diego church involved with Urban Street Angels?
I do not have a pulpit, so I guest speak once a month at OM Center for Spiritual Living in La Mesa, so the eastern side of San Diego, and then get to travel and come and visit and maybe come to Florida. You never know, and visit and speak and do a workshop and so forth. But we have several. Congregations that have supported us either financially. I mentioned before that we're finding more and more youth are reuniting with their families, and so we have a need for suitcases. And so we have two congregations in the San Diego area. After the first of the year, will be collecting gently used suitcases to donate to Urban Street Angels. So a lot of for which we are very grateful, and other New Thought congregations as well, recognizing that what we're doing is important and either coming in to volunteer or offering financial or non-financial donations. Yes.
Beautiful. I may chat with you. I'm kind of in two worlds. I have a pulpit ministry and also have a focus ministry teaching peace literacy.
Mm.
So we may
Oh,
chat as
wow.
you were talking
Would love
about
that.
life skills for young people. This is the skill of being in relationships, and how do you create repair when there's been harm, restorative conversations, and understanding social emotional learning and trauma and resilience. And so I
Wow.
would love to speak with you regarding your young folks.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Mhm.
Yes, well, I'll reach out to you. That'd be great.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you, everybody. So as a technical issue, someone's asking, how do you raise your hand? So at the bottom of your screen, there is a heart, and the heart below says react. So if you just click on that arrow where the react is, and you'll see lots of things you can do. Raise your hand, play stuff. I don't know, just all kinds of stuff. Click on the heart, you'll see more things. So there you go. So it's just at the bottom of your screen, a heart. Click on that, and it'll show you the hand and the thumb or whatever you want to raise your hand. Okay. All right. Yeah, so it's so interesting that is one of the things that both the Urban Street Angels and Anton have in common is again, what's next? Because that's what's I don't think it's just the organization. I believe that's individuals as well. We're constantly saying, what's next? What's next for us? Because that's a pull that we have. So I'm loving the fact that that's what you do. What is next? What's mine to do? I love that question. What's
Mhm.
mine to do? And we're constantly asking that. I think we ask that of ourselves as an individual and as an organization. What's next? What's ours to do? That's such a beautiful question. So I love that, Jerry.
Yes, yeah, and keeping in mind we're always in the moment, so enjoying and relishing the lusciousness of this moment, but also not
Smile.
staying here. Right, absolutely.
Exactly. Yeah, because just don't want to get um just we don't want it's not done. As long as people are on the face of this earth, it's not done. There's more to
Right.
do. Always. Always more to
Yes.
do. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah. So what is next for Urban Angels, and what are you looking for in terms of for Anton as well? What are we working on for terms of what's next? Do you know? Is there something that we want to share with the group about what we're working on? What's next? I know we want to come to the retreats to find some things out because we're
Mhm.
always putting stuff out at the retreat. But from here to there, what is it that we want them to know about what's next and what we're working on and what we'd like to have happen? Have you thoughts on that?
Well, as you probably know, we've published two books,
Mm.
which is incredibly exciting. They are both available on our website, and both were written by our members. So kind of cool. Not that, and there's no editorial comment here. I'm not sure that there's going to be a third book, but be aware that they're there. Um, excuse me. So what's next for us is continuing the conversation with the other New Thought organizations about New Thought and about community and about our similarities and how can we come together, and I don't know that we necessarily do one big gathering, but who's to say? But again, staying away from, and when I visited with Reverend Dr. Sonny Cantrell Smith, we talked about our education. So Emerson, as most of you probably know, Emerson Theological Institute is the educational arm of ANTN. Two separate organizations, but they do educational programs. Centers for Spiritual Living has their program, not homes anymore. I forget what they're calling it now. But and then there's Unity and the Unity School of Christianity and so forth. And so perhaps continuing to work toward recognizing that we're all teaching the same thing, coming from the same place. Maybe we could make it spiritual leadership. Thank you. Maybe we could work together to make it more welcoming, for lack of a better word. And so if I graduated from Emerson, it would be a quick and easy process to affiliate with CSL. Or if I graduated from Unity, it would be a quick and easy process for me to affiliate with Emerson and ANTN. So continuing that conversation, again, recognizing our similarities and the fact that our differences are really pretty few and far between. And then continuing to grow our membership. As you may know, Unity Village is opening, I think it's the middle of next month, the Goppert Event Center, with seating for about 500. When we were there in October, we had the opportunity to take the tour. It's absolutely gorgeous. And so we have basically outgrown the conference room where we've been meeting, and our intention is to fill the Goppert Center with not only people in the Unity congregations in the Kansas City area, but our dear ones from around the world and across the different disciplines. And Reverend Dr. Steve, thank you for that. So starting in 2009, New Thought was recognized by the Parliament of World Religions. And so and it's interesting because, as you well know, when we talk to people, well, what do you guys believe? Is it airy-fairy, new age kind of stuff? No, it's not at all. It's what Jesus taught. Hello. So the more we have the opportunity, and I'll climb back off my soapbox, but the more we have the opportunity to share, and so often I talk about what we believe, and they're like, well, yeah, I believe that. Well, yeah, I believe that. And it's really, even though we call it New Thought, there's nothing new.
There's no,
Yeah. So
yeah.
yeah.
Nothing
Yeah.
new.
So again, continuing to grow, continuing to expand, continuing to focus on our common unity.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think I heard someone say, and several people say, it's New Thought, ancient wisdom. So there's nothing new. It's
Right.
all, yeah.
Yes.
New way of applying it, but it's not actually new.
Yeah.
Tim and Suzanne, I see your hands up, Tim.
Yeah, I was just reminded of, some of you know Reverend Letty Hammock, who's a Unity minister from Florida. And she was speaking at an INTA conference some years ago. And to your point, Jerry, about the New Age, she said you can always tell when the New Agers show up. They walk in, they look around, and they go, "Where's your stuff?"
Oh. Yep. No crystals, no dream catchers, and we honor and celebrate them and what they do, but this is a little different. Yes.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So, oh, okay. Gary, or whichever of you raised your hand. You're muted. Whoever's talking, you're muted. You see the microphone at the bottom of your screen? It's, huh? Oh, it does.
Now try.
Yes, she is speaking. Are you
Oh.
speaking?
No?
See, she's talking, but nothing's happening. I don't know. Bill, where's Bill? Do you have any thoughts? What they can do? They got their hand raised, but we can't hear them. Okay.
Make sure their speaker is on high instead of off or low.
Good point. Yeah, is the volume up on your speaker? Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, Gary. Gary's up. All right, it's all up? Okay. I don't know. Doesn't seem to, don't know. All right, we're gonna just keep looking. As soon as you just keep talking, looking and talking, and when we hear you, we'll call back upon you.
You use the chat.
Yeah.
I can do that too.
It's possible that your microphone is switched to a different microphone. You click the
Yeah,
little arrow
that
next
could
to the
be-
mic icon and see if that changes anything.
Yeah, yeah. Look at the mic, the arrow there, and see what it says. Who are you connect? What are you connected to? Yeah. All right. So we've got like about 10 more minutes, and so Jerry, what do you want us to know? What would you like to leave us with?
So I will answer Gary's question. So the organizational structure of Urban Street Angels. And right, Patricia, that's a good point. Thank you. So organizational structure, we have our founder and CEO, we have a chief operating officer, a chief financial officer, a director of operations, and then case managers and peer support people. About 45 paid staff across the 3 locations. So it really is a pretty good sized organization. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So let me just say what is it, where are we going from here as far as ANTN is concerned, and as far as Urban Street Angels are concerned? Where are you going from here? What is your hope for both?
So short term, for Anton is to continue to bring the different organizations together, to continue to grow our annual retreat. Perhaps because we've been talking about this for a long time, and the board hasn't talked about this, so I might get in trouble, but do we want to do a second retreat, perhaps for pulpit ministers? We did that. Seems like we did that years and years ago, and maybe even well before COVID, and got away from that. But is that something that there's interest in? Or would we do a long weekend in regionally? So add some additional, because we know how to do events, obviously. So add some regional events. So there's Kansas City at Unity Village, but also regional events as well. And then just continuing to grow and expand, to grow our extraordinary support program that Bill was talking about. So again, supporting people in their ministry, or scholarshiping them to come to the retreat, or just a variety of things. A question about Emerson's curriculum. I know that they are always looking at that. You might reach out to John Karn. He is I forget his official title, but as it stands now, he's the Grand Poobah of Emerson, and could give you more information, and I'm sure would be grateful for your suggestions. And then for Urban Street Angels, again, adding, I think, about 20 beds. In the industry, we call them beds, but the truth is these are young people that are working to change their lives. So about 20 in downtown San Diego next year, and another 20 in North County. And again, working toward, and then also continue to expand the trade school program. So youth have the opportunity to learn how to do whatever, cosmetology, and again, just a variety of things to prepare them for the next chapter of their lives.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you. Gary, did you guys figure out how to speak?
I think so. Can you hear us?
Got it. We can hear you.
There. Hey guys, good to see
Hey,
you.
thank you, Bill, for the tip. That's exactly what it was a different mic. Dr. Jerry, this is always inspirational. This is not a simple question, but can you, in a nutshell, 4 to 9 months, it's amazing that you are turning lives around in that window. What do you think is the secret sauce? What is it that happens in those 4 months that allows people to go out and be so much more successful than when they entered?
So if I tear up when I answer this question, please bear with me. I think it's the recognition, because as I mentioned, each youth is assigned a case manager and a peer support person that look at them, that see them, that care about them. And I think for so many of these youth, they've never had that opportunity before. So I want to know about you. What are you doing? What's going on? What are your challenges? What can we help you with? So it's that unconditional love and acceptance. First of all, to start with, we care about you, and we care about you, and but there are some rules to follow. So we're offering the love, but also the structure, because you need to be doing your chores. You need to be in by a certain time. You need to be looking for work or going to school. So I think that's a big part of it that they might have never experienced before. And then the positive reinforcement that and I like to say, your future does not, your past does not determine your future. So whatever happened before, let's talk about it. Let's work through the grief, but also recognize that you can move forward and be whatever you want to be.
Exactly. Beautiful.
Again, that they may not have ever had the opportunity to have that conversation before.
We all know that unconditional love is transformational, and that's seeing it in action.
Yes.
In action. Yeah. We have one last question. We got about 3 more minutes to get out of here.
Gary and Pam, thank you for the question. Appreciate that.
Beautiful, beautiful. Vivian, you have a quick question?
So I know that support group, a sense of belonging, and is really important. Is there like a support group for the children who graduate so they stay connected in some way, shape, or form to their ongoing growth process?
We stay in touch with them. They don't get together as a group just because some of them stay in San Diego, some of them go to be with family in other parts of the country. So there's not a group, but they do stay connected to the organization. Occasionally, we're not 100%. So occasionally that they're not ready yet and wind up back in our program. And if they left successfully, and we have a bed available, they can certainly come back. But we do try to stay in touch with them. Yes.
Excellent. Yep. Excellent. Well, thank you all so much for coming. We're running out of time. I really appreciate you all being here, Jerry. Just a beautiful, always beautiful message and beautiful understanding, and just a beautiful share. But what you are doing, what your group is doing, and how much love you're putting out in the world. Bill, what's coming up next for us at ANTN?
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Holidays are coming up. If you are an ANTN member, you're going to be getting your membership renewal, which is the first of the year. If you're not an ANTN member, this is a wonderful time to join ANTN. You go to antn.org and click the join button, and you can become part of the family. It is pretty affordable and richly rewarding. The Thought Leader Thursday, which is actually going to be on the last Thursday of January, is Reverend Edwin Gaines. I just found out. So that's going to be a pretty exciting thing.
Yeah.
And the rest of the schedule picks up again, starting at the beginning of the year. We're also starting the bi-monthly meetings of the retreat committee, which is the group of people who puts on the retreat. If you're interested in joining that, then and taking part in making the retreat be spectacular, then email me, admin at antn.org, and we'll put you on the list and allow you to share your creativity, and by the way, put you to work.
Yeah, absolutely go to work. Also, I would encourage you all to check out the website. There's so much information on the website and ways to join. So please do check out the website all the time. Bill is he's a wonderful admin. He's always putting great new stuff there. So please just keep up with what's going on at the website. I do want to say for our March meeting, TLT, we have a Thomas Shutter. I might not be saying his name right. He's going to be talking about the use of AI and online digital media and tools to use. So that's going to be a great one.
Oh, wow.
They're all going to be fantastic. He's got some great guests coming. So finally, we're going to have Steve, you got some food for us. Thank you all so much.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, Christmas food. Thank
Very
you.
nice.
Thank you all so much. Thank you, Reverend Dr. Jerry. We're just lovely, lovely, lovely.
My pleasure. Thank you all. Thank you all so much.